I'm going to be talking about my mission trip that I went on a couple weeks ago now to Mexico. I went over Christmas break. I went from the day after Christmas to New Year's, and it was so much fun, and I thought I'd talk about it a little bit. And the reason I keep looking down is because I have a notebook. I document it every day so that I wouldn't forget it. And I think it's important to talk about things that God works in you so that other people can experience it even if they didn't go on the mission trip. And let me just say, it was fantastic. I'm going to move right into story time, if that's okay. We went with a group called Spectrum Missionaries, and they were amazing. We got to stay in a dormitory in Tijuana, Mexico, and the first night we showed up, we just kind of moved in, and the next day we moved right into missionary work. So every single day we had a different person lead us around Tijuana, and we went to a bunch of different sites that were poverty struck, and we just got to work with the people there and got to pray over them. First day was called Dump Day. So we drove like 45 minutes to a dump, and oh my gosh, this was probably the most hardcore day of the entire week, and it was our first day there. Our leader, his name was Carlos, he took us right there. We drove in, and I could never express how crazy this was. There were hills and valleys, and literally half the hills were trash with dirt on top of them, and all the valleys were being filled up with trash so that they could become hills, and they would move on to the next valley. There was trash everywhere. And we drove into the dump, and oh my goodness. So dump trucks are constantly coming in and dumping trash, and people that live in the dump area are sorting through the trash as it's getting dumped out of the trucks. It was like I can't even describe it. It was like people were like ants almost sorting over all the food and the trash and the boxes and taking all the stuff they could get, and it was horrible. And it was hot, so we instantly started handing out water bottles and going up to people and saying, Buenas tardes, good afternoon, I have a water bottle. And then we moved over to a table of sandwiches and fruit and drinks that we had set up in advance. We had made a long assembly line of sandwiches, and I got to be a mayonnaise painter with my sister Megan. And we started handing out sandwiches, and my sister Natalie and I were scooping drinks and handing out drinks. And then one of the people in our group, his name's Pancho, he's awesome. He gave a word and a prayer in Spanish, and then we just walked around the dump, and we just got to talk to the people and ask them what it was like to be either a believer or a non-believer in the dump. And there are some pretty incredible stories. It's a community there. I think it's hard for us to see that in our lives, which are so blessed and so filled with abundant things and stuff, that people can live on the bare necessities and still have communities and friends and churches. And that was a really interesting day. And after we left the dump, we went to a place that Carlos called Tent City, and it was basically exactly what it was. It was a bunch of people who had made tents and houses out of cardboard boxes and styrofoam sheets and actual tents. And there was a little church there that was in the middle of the community called La Roca, which means the rock. And we ate lunch there, and we prayed with the preacher there, and we went to each house in Tent City, and we got to pray over them. And Carlos would call us out and tell us to pray, and he called me out first. I was a little nervous, but also excited because I really like to pray in group settings. And I just got to lay my hands on this woman and pray for her and her son. They were living alone, and we gave them some sandwiches and some oranges, and we just got to pray over them, and you could totally feel the Holy Spirit there. It was great. And we went around and we did this to all the houses, and we talked to some pretty amazing people who had moved out of the dump, or were staying here to be safe, or were stuck here because of a horrible relationship that they couldn't get out of. And it was just, the prayer atmosphere that we got to do was incredible. And then we got to go back to the dorms, and it was just totally an eye-opening day. It was exhausting, but you could tell that God was just, His love was everywhere, that He was working in these people, and we got to laugh around and talk to people and hug people and pray with children. It was a great day. And we got home and we all just crashed, and I was sick the whole trip, so I got home and I slept 2 hours before dinner, and then we had a really delicious dinner. It was really great. The next day was called Feed the Neighborhood Day, and you'll probably have to figure it out in my next video because it took way too long to talk about this trip. There was just so much I had to say, and obviously I couldn't fit it into one video because it would be 20 minutes long. So hopefully you can watch my next video and hear about Activity Day, and then I think it's going to be part 3 as well, so hopefully you can watch my next video after that, which will be every other day. So thank you so much for bearing with me, and have a very sunshiny day. My random encouragement to you is you don't have to go on a mission trip to do good works for God. All the little things count too. So, I love you. Have a great day. Thank you for bearing with me, and hopefully you can watch my part 2 and hear about the rest of my trip. Hugs and kisses.